I confused myself the first time. I'm prepared to explain the combo. Okay, so here's the combo kill. You start with Prime Speaker Vannifar not having Summoning Sickness and a Llanowar Elf in play. You sacrifice Llanowar Elf to get Corridor Monitor. Corridor Monitor untaps Vannifar. Vannifar turns Corridor Monitor into Renegade Rallier, which returns Corridor Monitor to play and untaps Vannifar again. Then you do this a couple more times to get some extra Renegade Ralliers into play, including copies via Glasspool Mimic. Then you turn one of your 3-drops into Emiel the Blessed here. And Emiel the Blessed lets you spend 3 mana to blink a Renegade Rallier, to return a Corridor Monitor to play, to untap Prime Speaker Vannifar, and then you sacrifice that Corridor Monitor to get Ardent the Electromancer here, which comes into play and makes you some mana, and then you can blink the Corridor Monitor again to untap your Prime Speaker Vannifar to get Zirda Dawnwaker, which reduces the activation cost of Emiel the Blessed to 1. So now you use your 1 mana Emiel the Blessed to blink your Electromancer to get infinite mana. And once you have infinite mana, you have infinite Vannifar activations as well, because your infinite mana with this lets you blink this an unlimited number of times to untap Vannifar. And once you've assembled this Rube Goldberg machine, you then get Basalt Ravager out of your deck, which deals damage to your opponent equal to the greatest number of creatures you have in common that share creature type. And you have infinite mana, and you have infinite blink, so then you blink the Basalt Ravager an appropriate number of times until your opponent dies. It's very simple. It only took me 1 minute and 50 seconds to explain. Someone try and clip that. I think that might actually be too long for a clip, but that's how it works. So the goal is to just like get to Prime Speaker Vannifar and keep her in play and protected as consistently as possible. So Neoform with our 3-drops helps us get to her. Linvala and Selfless Savior help us keep her alive. Turntimber Symbiosis is a land that helps us find her. So let's dive on into some games with this and see if we can actually manage to combo kill it all, or if we're just going to end up getting picked apart. Our deck is soft to creature removal, it's soft to graveyard hate, it's soft to Grafdigger's Cage. Like there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that step in the way and disrupt us. Welcome to Magic the Gathering. Our deck has 27 lands in it, counting spell lands. Oh, crap. I don't have double white. I guess I had to miss a color regardless. What rogues or clerics do we have into our deck? What's it called? The Shapeshifter. Glasspool Mimic is both a rogue and a Shapeshifter. So if we would have gotten to keep 6 cards this game, we would have been able to play Skyclave on 2 and then Neoform it into a thing on 3, but unfortunately this is Magic and that didn't happen. This is where the magic happens, chat. $27 lands, right? 18, sorry, only 26. I'm a liar. Only 26. Mulligan 2 1-landers, keep a 2-lander, never fight a 3rd land and die. Should just give Todd lands, yep. Our deck is soft to mana screw. Please adjust. Fix it, Hogland. Fix it. Yeah, I believe we're short mana to combo here, right? But, like, even if we don't full combo, I still get to put, like, a bunch of 3/2s into play. So, like, you know, deal. I'm aware I have a Bolt Land in hand, chat. I haven't counted yet. We might have enough to combo here. Just give me a second. I'm making 3/2s. So now we do this, and we undiddle this, and we do this. I think we're short because we have Zirda in hand, right? This only makes 3 mana. So I could do, yeah, I could do this, and I can play Zirda, but yeah, we're one short, chat. So I needed a mana to be able to activate the blink on here. We like, this was our failure state, right? Like our failure state was put what, 15, 19, 22, 25 power into play? Nah, I want to put less shit cards in my deck, BW Panda. I think that definitely constitutes as a bad card. All right, so how do we sideboard? I don't even know if I want these good boys. Think I want the Knight of Autumns against their what's it called deck, their vehicle deck. Maybe we trim out a Neoform. Of course, I'm also bringing in 3-drops. I could probably afford to trim Renegade Rallier in a lot of situations, right? I don't think I need more than 2 of those. What do you get the last blink? This is the card that kills them if we had 1 more mana. If we had 1 more mana, Basalt Ravager would have gotten tutored up out of our deck, and we would have had infinite mana, and we would have killed them. think we're keeping this, right? Full bottom Glasspool Mimic. Renegade Rallier is an uncommon, yes. I would encourage you to look at my mana base before you ask me if we can afford to play a red card. Gonna get stepped on. It didn't get stepped on. That's nice. Alright, trying to crack for 5 in the air here. Do we Neoform? I don't have a 1-drop in sight, right? I think I just do this and take their Heart of Korean. The cardboard live command is actually from the other day. It should be working. My thing claims it's connected. But their service regularly fails, so wouldn't be super surprised if it's not working. Hey, Leroy, thanks for the Prime re-up, by the way. Welcome back.
It's my turn. It's playtime.
Good boy to protect her, too.
Yep, you're going down.
You shoot the dog here.
Oh, that's nasty.
I'm supposed to attack Chandra there, actually. I guess they can block with everything.
Today's my lucky day.
Feeling pretty dead here. Oh, I probably should have played the Goose off of the Ziggurat, right? One more clone in my deck. Yeah. We have two more. One's hiding in the back. Yeah, always decline when. Okay, so now we pod this into Zirda. And Zirda makes this cost 1, so we blink a Renegade Rallier and get back Corridor Monitor. And then Corridor Monitor untaps this. And then I use this to blink Renegade Rallier again. Which lets me get Goose. I can pod Goose into Burning-Tree Emissary, right? Does Burning-Tree Emissary go infinite here? It does, right? Why am I playing this shitty 3-mana card in my deck? Can someone explain to me why that card's in here? Why aren't we just playing Burning-Tree Emissary? I assumed that we had to be playing the other one. You need 5 mana to go off with Burning-Tree Emissary. Okay. Sure, I believe that. Okay, and now we blink Corridor Monitor. And Corridor Monitor untaps the pod. And then pod is gonna turn this into our thing that deals damage. Okay, so this is the full combo. When someone asked what our best draw was, by the way, the answer was a 1-drop. I know somebody asked what the best draw was. The answer was a 1-drop because then they die like this. So we technically have unlimited mana with the Burning-Tree Emissary, and we have unlimited blinks with unlimited mana with the Blessed here. So I can spend 1 mana here to get 2. Is how this works. And then Basalt Ravager goes to town. Good clean living here. Easy as pie. All right, look at that. Mulligan down to the first game and got through the thing solidly in both these other games. All right, wait. So now I need to like go back to this deck list and think about what people are telling me. So what does this 3-drop do that Burning-Tree Emissary doesn't? What am I missing? You're saying it costs more mana. So it costs more mana because you need to blink the Corridor Monitor an extra time, or the Rallier an extra time because you need to get the 1-drop back again to then pod into this, whereas otherwise you can pod the corridor monitor directly into this. Okay, I'll buy that. I'll buy that for $1. That's fine. We'll leave them split 1-1. Okay. For people that are at home that are wondering how you master this deck, you'll note that I cleverly left the Vannifar on top of my deck there, so. That's why we kept this hand, because we knew it was coming. Maybe I should have played the Glasspool Mimic tapped. Scavenging Ooze runes are fun. Come on, tap out. Don't tell Scotty, chat. Scotty doesn't know that me and Vannifar are about to kill him. Our opponent's about to learn a valuable lesson that they shan't soon forget. Welcome to Thunderdome, Clarice. They will never tap out with Scavenging Ooze ever again. Cue the rodeo music, chat. We're gonna put the Vannifar in them. Yep. Alright, and then we pod this into the 4-drop. The 4-drop flickers this, untaps the Vannifar. We pod this into Zirda, which makes our flicker cheaper. We use this to flick the Renegade Rallier, which gets back the corridor monitor, which untaps the Vannifar. And then we use this on the corridor monitor to get the thing that makes mana. Okay, so now, again, we now have infinite mana. Because we spend 1 to blink this and it makes 3. We'll get back our corridor monitor to untap the Vannifar. And then we pod the Renegade Rallier to grab the Basalt Ravager. So we have unlimited mana, which means we have unlimited blinks, which means we have unlimited damage. Oh, you better believe if they don't concede, I'm killing their board. You want to waste my time? I'll waste all of it. Alright, I lied. I'm gonna kill them. We paid for the whole clock and we're gonna use it. Yep. Here's a pro tip to the person I just timed out in chat. If you feel the need to prefix your statement with, I'm not trying to be rude, but, that means your statement is rude and you know it's rude and you probably shouldn't open your mouth. Good general life social tip. I'm gonna bring in the Deputy of Detention as have one more way to take Scavenging Ooze out of play. It doesn't matter, Natterjack. Yeah, I think we're mostly just not boarding here. Afternoon, Fizzy Dragon. I wonder if our opponent, Grull, could reasonably be playing Grafdigger's Cage. There's a chance I should bring in Knight of Autumn's post-board, just in the dark in most matchups. A very, very real chance of that. No, I'm not into chess at all. Am I dead yet? Is Vannifar dead yet? Is there any reason to block? I feel like I'm supposed to block, huh? Oh, blocking's actually wrong, because it means if they have a stomp, they can kill my goose, and then I can't combo. Blocking's wrong, because it means 2 damage removal is live. Yeah, fuck. Fuck. Alright, so I punted. Win that game easy. Yeah, they're company, so they're not a cage deck, is actually true. Alright, so we win that easy peasy if I just don't block. Stomp does not kill me, I would have been at 4. If I don't block there, I was at 8, and I blocked for 4. I know counting is tough. I believe in you, though, Twitch chat. Keep counting. Someday you'll get a handle on it. If we didn't block, they would have just cleaved us. They did not have double red, and they would have killed us with cleave if they had double red, even if I did block, so... again. Wrong. Wrong. That's just good deck building, chat. That's just good, clean deck building right there. That's good. I have Skyclave Apparition. Skyclave Apparition is like the fix-all. It's great. Now we gotta draw a white source now, huh? Alright, so I punted game 2 with the block that I made, and then this game we just didn't draw white source until it was too late. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if we would have had a deputy that game, we would have been able to cast it easier earlier off of the single white source. In general, I think Skyclave is much better. A little bit unfortunate with our mana there, but... Listen, chat, when you've played as much Magic as I have, nothing surprises you, including the people putting Grafdigger's Cage in there. People putting Grafdigger's Cage in their, what's it called, deck? Their Collected Company deck. Alright, dead to Fatal Push. Yeah, I mean, if you want to play Cage against Cat Oven, you probably shouldn't play Collected Company in your Girl deck, though. Like just play Cleave or Henge or whatever, and don't play Company. If you think you need Grafdigger's Cage to beat the Cat Oven matchup, you should then build the rest of your deck different instead of playing 4 cards. Is the deck not on there? Angels, it's not. Let me restart Cardboard Live. Yeah, I've been away from Magic for so long. I feel like I need to actually put effort into putting up a fork of the Deckmaster project, because it's really dog crap that just like isn't a consistent Magic tool that works well. It sucks that the only one that exists doesn't have stable service. Like, Cardboard Live works well when it works. It just would be nice if it actually worked. Are we gonna get, like, stroked here? I guess I can have a piece of spot removal too, huh? Languish me. Fatal Push, right? They paused on the Goose earlier, like they potentially had a Fatal Push. We get to try out our Vivien playing out of the sideboard for the control matchup here, it looks like. Blue-black, maybe Sultai control. Must be Sultai, right? Because if they were just blue-black, they'd be playing the other one. We have just blue-black cycle lands in this format. Have the Goose send a message here, let them know what's up. I think in the control matchup, we probably board the Neoforms out. We'll be boarding in Vivien as an initial way to find our prime speakers. You have a Fatal Push here maybe, but not a way to trigger Revolt. Am I playing Glasspool Mimic out here? I feel like I am. This could be a game where we cast Turntimber Symbiosis. I wonder if these Ancient Ziggurats are good. The fact that I'm playing Turntimber makes them a lot less good. They're bad with my Viviens out of the sideboard too. These Ziggs might be better as some other dual lands. You get different approach building sideboards in non-rotating formats compared to rotating ones. No, not really. Same heuristic supply. It's not really a binary, like, rotating versus non-rotating, so much as it's, like, card... It's, like, number of decks in a format, if that makes sense. Like, non-rotating formats can have a little bit of a wider range sometimes, but that's about it. Would the Ziggurats be better as Triumphs? So I'd like them to be untapped lands. Being able to play on curve is busted. Torrential Gearhulk is playable in Historic. Nope. That doesn't stop people from playing it. The thing you need to understand again about non-rotating formats, especially ladder stuff, is like a lot of people are just playing for fun, and the big appeal of playing non-rotating formats like this, you can just like kind of throw together whatever you want. Our opponent's at 92%. I doubt they care about their ladder ranking, so they're probably just playing Magic to have a good time. Don't let the idea of cards that are good or bad suck you into whether or not you can play them, chat. Just play cards you enjoy casting. I don't understand your question, Claire. I'm not my opponent, so it's kind of hard to like assume what they know or they don't know. Yeah, sometimes you want to just gear hulk people. There's nothing wrong with that. So Neoform comes out here. Skyclave's probably pretty bad. Vivien's great, obviously. Extra ways to protect my combo seems good. Isn't what, from the opponent's view, isn't what you're saying kind of mean? Why is it mean to say, like, it is not mean to describe a deck that's not particularly competitive as not particularly competitive. If you take it personally when someone tells you that your deck that's not good isn't good, maybe you need to take a step back and self-examine why you're so tied up in your existence being validated by the deck that you're playing in a children's card game. Some decks are just worse than others, chat. And it's okay. You aren't taking their rank seriously. Oh. I mean, I don't know. You're right. That's an assumption. But I don't think it's a stretch to say that if you're playing an off-meta deck that's probably not very good because you enjoy it, you're probably not super serious about your rank. I don't think that that's a stretch to say. In general, people who are in the like sub 90% and 80% range on the ladder tend to be just playing Magic for fun, right? Like, to a lot of people, myself included, like, being top 1200 is meaningless. So, like, we're just playing the game because we enjoy the game. One thing I will say about this Vannifar deck as it's constructed right now is, man, our Vannifars are really bad when they're not comboing. Yeah, Ooze might be okay. I thought about Ooze. I don't really have a card that I want to cut, though, for Scavenging Ooze is the problem. Like, I don't think Scavenging Ooze is better than any of the cards that are currently in my 60. You're right that it has a text box, but I don't think its text box is better than anything else we're currently playing. Man, really want to draw an untap land next turn so we can stick this Vivien. Nailed it.
I've lost so much already.
Narset does not stop this one from drawing cards, which is lovely.
Just the trick for this.
It's important that we kill this Narset before they memory and draw 7 cards.
Such violence is upsetting.
We're probably dead from here. This archetype is pretty bad against interactive decks. That being said, I don't think being bad against interactive decks is necessarily disqualifying in this format, because in general, I think a lot of interactive decks like what this opponent is playing tend to be very bad against the best decks that people are playing. It doesn't mean you won't run into them on occasion, but it does mean when you run into them, you can't really be too sad about it. Yeah, people are gonna play, this is Magic, people play whatever they want, regardless, like I said, especially in, like, the percentages, but, like, in general, being linear and racing tends to feel a lot better than not in this format, in my experience. That's just true of, like, Magic non-rotating formats in general. Outside of, like, Legacy, it tends to having some kind of combo, super proactive plan tends to be good. Askell, thanks for the follow, good afternoon. That Ohio, howdy howdy. Yeah, seems pretty okay, right? Legacy, what makes control so effective? Blue cards are just a lot better than everything else at Legacy. Force of Will and Brainstorm are really messed up cards. Like Blue-Red Phoenix. Yeah, Maximize Velocity makes me think they might have birds. This is the 3rd time Jeff has played this person. Yeah, the Historic ladder is a lot less popular than Standard. Even on Standard, you find some repeats, but Historic has a lot of playing the same people over and over again. Especially if you play around the same time each day. Alright, so our opponent has died. You know, they don't know it yet, chat. Don't tell Scotty, chat, but they're dead. Cue the carnival music, chat. See? Let's get linear. I want to get linear. Let's get into linear. Do 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 do. What's going on, Silverian? It's been really reasonable racing other linear things. It's been kind of mediocre against interactive decks, so kind of going as expected. It's a Vivien Reid matchup. I feel like it might be. I feel like they're probably going to have counter spells, which makes my Neoforms pretty bad. Vivien could shoot down random flying Dorkos too. I think the only way you can have interactive effects be better than linear effects is if you proactively manage the format with the ban list that you're playing, or have just really pushed busted fair effects like Legacy. And like, the thing about Legacy, like Legacy's a more fair format by far, but Legacy's also a very narrow format. If you look at the raw number of like playable cards, you like look at all the fair decks in Legacy, a lot of the fair decks in Legacy have a lot of overlap in the cards that they play because there's just a small selection of cards in Legacy that are just objectively much better than everything else you could be doing in the format. So the reason why they're there, or those fair decks are playable. I mean, Legacy really does not have a sizable ban list, all things considered, based on the number of cards in the format. Sharing a mask, well, the point of a mask is to keep your germs to you and not communicate them to other people. So sharing a mask and sharing germs with other people, I guess if there's someone who lives with you, that's probably not a big deal, because then you all have the same shared germs anyways. But sharing a mask with random strangers is pure idiocy. Maybe they knew people. Maybe they knew each other. Like one was waiting in the car and they lived together. That's a great way to put it. You should only share masks if you share toothbrushes. It's a great comparison. We have died. All right, so they've got a bunch of cages, so we want a bunch of Night Autumns. Adults share all sorts of nasty things with each other. I'll tell you more about it when you're older. Yeah, like bank accounts and student debt. You should only wear masks one time. You should only wear disposable masks one time. Ancient Ziggy looking awkward with Vivien Reid here. Marriage blurs a lot of lines, yep. So, normally I'd be excited for the prospect of Mystical Archives with Historic, but given that Jumpstart got us Muxus, I'm more weary than excited about Mystical Archives. I hope the people who are deciding which Mystical Archives make it into Historic and which ones don't are different than the people that decided with Muxus. The people that decided with Muxus did not make good decisions, in my opinion. I think Swords is too strong for Historic. I think that's not a relevant question because they're not printing it into the format.
I didn't live through No one said
This line means Vivien dies to a shock or a stomp, which is sad, but I think I need to kill their threat here. Hey, thanks for the tier 2 Phoenix Lands. I appreciate the 39 months. Good morning. Good afternoon. Welcome back. Trade your 2/2 for a 2/2. Stupid ancient ziggurat. Yeah, I definitely plan to do more SCG things. Not every weekend though. Guess we're making some food. DJ, good afternoon. Really? We're leaving the geese alone. Okay.
Wild Ant, that can't help you now.
Vivien looking great here still. Hey, Aaron, thank you for the 28 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. If this is a blank, I feel like we're in an okay spot. Not amazing, but okay. So they're giving up this to kill Vivien this turn. I guess that makes sense.
I've seen worse.
Hey, first one to a meaningful spell wins. Opponent's 20 cards into their deck and has only drawn 5 lands. Yeah. Well, I'll just be over here treading water. Yup. I assume we're dead. I believe they scried top here. What did they bottom? Supposed to bring in Scavenging Ooze for this matchup. Scavenging Ooze would have been absurd here, right? Save a counterspell? What this pause means? She is a 2/4. I mean, if we draw Vivien here, we might win this game. Well, I guess Knight of Autumn is good too. Anything to get rid of this? It's a good boy. What a dumb game. Oh, it's like any non-creature spell destroys us. Alright. Just keep swimming, yep. Oh, I actually can't put it into play, right? Because the cage stops it? Cage stops us, right? It doesn't matter, we're dead. We also didn't even find what we needed. Yeah, that's sad. Needed our last Vivien during all of those draws. I think I'm gonna cut these stupid ancient ziggurats though. They're super awkward with our spells. feel like I probably want more white sources. This is 16, 18. Green, that's probably plenty. I probably just want them to be Hallowed Fountains. Want red lands? Nah, we have Goose and Burning-Tree Emissary. It's fine, just don't draw your red cards yet. Rhino's usually playing linear combo decks. About Athethbect or about Tavares. Pretty easy mulligan here with no Ramp Dork, no Ramp Dork, no Vannifar, no Neoform. This hand technically turns this into a Vannifar, right? How's the next one today? They've been fine. I don't think we've had anything particularly spectacular. Bunch of different middling things. Nothing that's truly spake to me. Are they playing something interactive? Our hand's really bad against something interactive. Yeah, I don't really feel like playing against counterspells. I'm gonna play a different match. I don't know, maybe they're not a counterspell deck, but just don't feel like playing against blue-red flash is what that looks like. I don't know. Rhino usually plays Bruise, but I don't feel like waiting to find out, and our hand's real bad. Yeah, it's great. They're playing Glorious. Alright. We're going first. Maybe we can get under Rogues on the play. Oh, enchantments. That's great for us. Yeah, the enchantments deck is exactly what we want to play against. You looked like you were playing blue-red flash, and I didn't feel like playing against counterspells. A lot of their interaction, if they have it, is like Baffling End and Glass Casket, so they should be dead here. And again, for those of you that are just joining us and haven't seen us do this yet today, our opponent is going to die this turn. We will generate infinite mana, among other things, as well as infinite ability to blink our creatures in and out of play. It's gonna take me a hot second, but our opponent's gonna lose this game. So we get Emiel the Blessed here, and then we use Emiel to diddle the corridor monitor here. And then we use this to go get a Zirda. Yeah, they probably have cage after boarding, but that's fine. Because we'll board in Night of Autumn. And then Zirda makes the blink here, cost only 1. So now we get to blink this. And we get to get back Corridor Monitor, which untaps the Prime Speaker Vannifar. And then Prime Speaker Vannifar is going to turn Corridor Monitor into something that makes mana. And then we have unlimited mana from there. So, yeah, I assume they have Grafdigger's Cage post board. We're going to board in Knights of Autumn and Deputy of Detention in case that's a thing. Usually trim a Renegade Rallier post board. It couldn't be simpler. With these 200 easy steps, you too can combo kill the opponent. Luris deck probably doesn't have cage. Listen, the Collected Company deck caged me today. So these cards, and this is honestly why cards like Knight of Autumn and Deputy are good to bring in, because even if my opponent isn't playing cage, cards like Deputy and Knight of Autumn aren't blanks in this matchup. So like they're cards that we're bringing in that still have text in a pinch. So you get to play better supporting cards, Dude Light, and you have to play less bad ones. So you get to, like, getting to play things like Skyclave Apparition and Good Boy to protect your combo has a lot of value. So I think from a combo to combo perspective, they're very comparable, but I think from a what you get to play outside of the combo, the white cards are much better. Yikes, that's a terrible draw. You need 4 mana for a key. So Vannifar plus 1 drop plus mana gets you there. Assuming you don't draw your white card. Alright, off to the races we go. Can you fly, Spirit Dancer? So we win. We actually can't win this turn because I drew Emiel the Blessed. I actually don't have a way to get Emiel into play. But it's fine. We're not going to lose, though, because I'm going to get to end on a, what's it called? Exiling the Core Spirit Dancer. So we'll make a big board here. We'll make a big board here and be super ahead. And that honestly is one of the things that's kind of sweet about this deck, is even when you hit your failure rate in a state like this, where like you drew one of your pieces so you can't actually kill them outright, like your failure state is like 20 power in play, plus a Vannifar to like tutor up some more stuff. Wish we could see some more formats soon. What other formats, Slayer? We played Pioneer, Historic, and Standard. Just as a heads up, I'm not really planning to expand past those three. So if you're looking for things like Modern and Legacy, I'd recommend Caleb Durward. He's a great content producer, but I'm just not interested in playing those formats. Caleb makes a lot of good Moto content. You should check him out. I have no opinion about Modern, other than I have no desire to play against every time Raveler. So, as long as that card's legal, I'm not touching the format. I don't know. Honestly, Modern has more stains than just Teferi Time Raveler, right? Like never playing against like shit like Ensnaring Bridge and Blood Moon is like, sounds great. Those cards suck. They did at least finally ban Simian Spirit Guide, that's true. I played the Naked Rallier out so I could Neoform it into Vannifar next turn. I should have attacked first. Apologies. I'm not going to play out Gilded Goose because I don't want them to be able to play a sweeper and kill both my mana dorks. Okay, play a Chandra so I can kill you. Hey chat, remember when I played around Anger of the Gods? Remember that? Alright, cue the carnival music, please. Are we a mana short? We need 4 mana to fully go, don't we? Okay, so because we can't actually kill them this turn, right? Yeah, I think we end on Linvala, right? And actually, I could get, these are warrior rogues, right? Warrior rogues, and this is a wizard. So if I get this, I could blink again. Yeah, I have 3 party. So I'm done Linvala here so they can't anger our board. Your move, Yugi boy. And again, like, short of mana, failure state was put 15, 18, 22 power into play. So like this was our combo fizzling. We fizzled this game. We failed to combo them. All right, so they're definitely going to try and cage us, right? I think I'm supposed to board out Neoforms in the interactive matchups is the plan. I definitely want Knight of Autumn. Because even if they don't cage, they have other miscellaneous artifacts they don't mind killing. Let me trim some mana creatures. I don't want these strokes. I guess stroke counters Ugin. Might be right to have stroke for Ugin. Yeah, it's like going off the empty the boards is a good comparison. It's like, you have successfully murdered my goose. My goose is cooked. Nah, playing more red cards is really unappealing. Rubble Fort's not going to be lethal in a lot of board states because your opponent, Rubble's not going to be lethal in a lot of board states because of blockers. I'm going to take their Mindstone here, or attempt to if they want to cycle it, that's fine with me. They don't get a 2/2 later. I think slowing down their mana is valuable though. Like, it looks really cheeky to put something like Tuk Tuk in your deck, and then you have to remember that you have to draw. You have to draw Tuk Tuk in some number of your games, which really sucks. It might be right to wait to play Vannifar since I don't have anything to pod because I only have tapped lands for this Vivien next turn. We could also just draw a 1-drop and kill them, though, which has appeal. And then my 4s are very useful here. Vannifar doesn't do a lot in this deck if you're not comboing them with it. The deck list is available on your screen. You can type !deck in chat to get a link to all of my decks as well. Linvala stops them from killing Prime Speaker here, which means if we draw one of our 1-drops, they die next turn. Yay, cue the carnival music. Magic's easy, chat. Just draw what you need. Just like we drew it up. And we have 4 mana here this time. So we're going to be able to actually factually kill them this turn. So our opponent won't just be mostly dead like the last game. They will literally die this turn. We're going to deal their whole life total to them. So if you haven't seen that yet, you'll see it fully play out here. It takes 4 mana. Oh, actually, I'm through all of these because there's one in play and I boarded one out, right? So you do get the unicorn now. Almost messed this up. And then unicorn blinks this. We untap Prime Speaker. Prime Speaker turns this into a Zirda. Zirda reduces the activation cost of this to 1. We get to blink Renegade Rallier, which brings back this, which untaps Prime Speaker. We pod the Corridor Monitor into the Ardent Electromancer. So we've now assembled infinite mana here, because we can spend 1 mana to make 3 mana. We have infinite mana, and infinite mana means we also have infinite blinks. Infinite blinks means we have infinite Vannifar activations. Because we have Corridor Monitor. Corridor Monitor is going to untap this. We'll pod this into the 4 mana card that kills them. Basalt Ravager comes into play. Deals 3 damage to them. And then we use the unicorn with the Ravager and they die. Fine, I don't mind. I like getting to show it off for the stream. It seems easy. It is if you're not thinking it all through. All right. I mean, all things considered, this went about how I was expecting it to go. I think I'm pretty happy with where we ended up at. All things considered. So the one thing to point out that makes this relatively reasonable is that we only really have, I guess this counts too, we have like 6 bad cards in our deck, right? We only have like 6 cards where like when you draw them, you're kind of embarrassed that you drew them. J-Rod, thanks to the 11 months. So I think the fact that that number is so low is great. I think the fact that we get these valuable white cards, whether it's Skyclave for interaction or Selfless Savior as a way to protect Vannifar as well as being another 1 mana card to combo off with, feels really good. Renegade Rallier being a combo card that you can pot off a Neoform feels good as well. The fact that Glasspool Mimic lets you set up for that like go wide board state when you fizzle sometimes is nice as well. Vivien's felt good out of the sideboard as a way to grind when Neoform's not good. I do think overall, this deck's probably a better best of 1 deck than a best of 3 deck. I think this archetype really struggles against things that are being interactive and picking you apart. That being said, it is a very reasonable linear game plan, and the fact that we have Skyclave Apparition as like this scotch of interaction means against aggressive decks and other combo decks, this deck actually seems super reasonable. So I think your matchups are a little bit on the polarized side, but overall I think this probably has enough game against enough things that it's worth playing if you like this style of deck. If you like the kind of go crazy, go through the motions once you get set up and kind of surprise people from nowhere, you definitely, this deck has had the most oops, I win feel out of anything I've played in Historic since coming back. And I think I like it more than the previous Grey Merchant iterations that we had played before this latest batch of cards was added. Last season, it reached number 300 Mythic in Best of 1 with a 75% win rate. We only had a 65% win rate in Best of 3. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, Kelvin. The types of decks that this archetype is bad against probably struggle in a format where you're not allowed to play with it and where you're not allowed to have a sideboard. So I would bet, like I said, I think from a pure, like, fire up the engines and race perspective, like best of one often is going to be, I think this seems super reasonable. One thought that I didn't, I don't know why it's taking me till now to realize this is, I know why it's taking me till now. I'm not used to building with them yet. Botanical Sanctum is probably better than Pathway in this deck. We only have Vannifar as a 4-drop, and having a land that makes blue and green sounds better than one that I have to choose between. So I think the only change I would make, since I'm staring at this mana base here during this wrap-up, is I would swap that. We don't have a Razor Verge Thicket, so this is definitely the Pathway you want for that, but this being that sounds good. We don't have Secret and Coast either. Hopefully we get those eventually. Yeah, Sultai and Sack were rough and best of 3. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right. At any rate, I'm going to be done with Magic for the afternoon. We're going to wrap up with a little bit of Runeterra today. Riot's all digital card game based on Legal Legends IP. I'm going to go to the restroom really quick before I swap over to that. When I get back, we're going to do some spoiler review for that game, and then we're going to play some Expeditions, I think. Or maybe I'll do my Last Chance Gauntlet before we do Expeditions. I think I have a couple of Prime Glories. We'll see if we can get lucky in that or not. I'll be back in just a couple. Be right back.